Yeah, I think the history of our nation is hugely important to us as the church, largely because our history defines who we are. And that history and what people are aware of it defines the public perception, and that public perception is the starting point of our God conversation. So if we look at the bicultural story, for example, if Christianity is an imposition of colonisation, then Christianity really has no legitimate place in this nation. We might as well get rid of it. But if Christianity happened to be invited by Te Pahi and Ruatara, and if Ruatara and Korokoro and Hongi Hika happened to go to Australia to pick up the Reverend Samuel Marsden to bring the Kings, the Kendalls and the Halls over, if the Māori, happened to be smart enough to watch the missionaries for about a dozen years before the first one of them became Christians, and if they then embraced the faith for themselves and spread it for themselves in front of the missionaries before missionaries went anywhere, then that would say that Christianity is intrinsically embraced by Māori and legitimately here. So pretty significant, because it gives us a much better starting point for the God conversation. Yeah. When we think about unity in the nation, we can despair of the church and say, nah, it's not united, everyone's got to do their own thing. I think that if we think unity is uniformity, then that is the case. If you want everybody to come to one venue, to one room, to fit with one church style, we're not all going to get in one room. But if we look at, do we love God, do we read the Bible, and are we on mission, then the church across New Zealand is actually already really united. And so we're really just waiting for communication lines, I think, and sensible strategies sometimes. For the Hope Project, kind of by accident, we fell onto a sensible strategy. And that was that with a shortage in funding, we made the booklet delivery volunteer-based 2 years ago, which meant we went to pastors' groups right across the nation. And the incredible miracle is that the booklets got delivered. And you might think, how on earth would you coordinate volunteer delivery to the largest 80 cities and towns of the nation? And the answer is that it's actually much easier than people think it would be, largely because Christians in each community aren't delivering those booklets to help the Hope Project. They're delivering it because they love Jesus, and they want the people of their community hearing the testimonies and the stories of hope and the Christian message that are inside the booklets. So I think the New Zealand church really is more united than we often think it is. But we do have to keep a conversation about unity going to understand maybe what a sensible strategy is, so we can have more of those implemented. I mean, the challenges that can face unity are many. Human character is going to be the biggest of them. But if pastors choose to be friends in communities, then they become a self-regulating community, keeping each other accountable within that. I think nationally, New Zealand's only 5 million people. So we're really the size of a city by population over the very inconvenient distance of Kaitaia down to Bluff. What we need as a nation is communication lines, and that willingness to allow communication lines to exist so we can actually discover sensible strategies. So I'd suggest that there are sensible strategies in our nation. It's just a case of seeing the people who might carry them getting the ear of people throughout the nation for those to be put into effect. Yeah, so from the Maranga conference for me, I'm just taking back encouragement that we are on the same page. So this has been a conference that has had probably a higher population of Māori at it than non-Māori, and so those bicultural matters are quite a key part of the conference. There's no judgment, there's no prejudice here. At the end of the day, we're sons and daughters of God. We're loved by God. We're united together. We're united by the values that we carry. God is doing something amazing within our nation, and to even just to state, the elephant in the room as a European in an environment that's far more Māori than European, I don't feel at all uncomfortable. We are one in the bonds of love in the church, and this bicultural journey, it's been carried in this nation with so much grace. I'm taking encouragement. We've heard amazing stories. I've been here before. I look forward to the next.